If you were born within the borders of the United States, whether in a bustling city or a quiet rural town, you're very likely an American citizen, holding all the rights and responsibilities that come with it. This is a fundamental aspect of American identity, but have you ever stopped to truly consider why that is? Have you ever wondered about the origins and implications of this seemingly simple fact? The answer lies in the principle of birthright citizenship, a cornerstone of American law. This is also known as jus soli, a Latin term that translates to right of the soil. It's a concept deeply rooted in legal history. In essence, if you're born on American soil, you're automatically granted citizenship, regardless of the legal status of your parents. Whether they are citizens, legal residents, or even undocumented, your birth on U.S. soil grants you citizenship. However, it's important to recognize that this isn't the only method by which countries determine who can become a citizen. Different nations have different approaches. Many countries around the world adhere to the principle of jus sanguinis, which translates to right of blood, where citizenship is primarily inherited from one's parents, regardless of the place of birth. Your lineage determines your citizenship. The United States made the conscious decision to embrace jus soli in the aftermath of the Civil War, a pivotal moment in American history. This decision was made with the explicit aim of creating a more inclusive and representative definition of "we the people," ensuring that all individuals born on American soil were recognized as citizens. It's a seemingly simple rule, a clear and straightforward principle. If you're born in Iowa, amidst the cornfields and friendly communities, or along the stunning California coastline, or even in the majestic mountains of Alaska, you are, without question, an American citizen. This holds true even if your parents are simply visiting as tourists, or if they are residing in the country without proper documentation. However, this long-standing rule has now become a significant point of contention in contemporary American politics, sparking heated debates and passionate arguments. There are ongoing debates about whether birthright citizenship is an outdated concept that needs to be reevaluated, or whether it remains an essential and fundamental principle of American identity. To truly understand the complexities and nuances of this debate, we need to delve into the past and examine the historical context that shaped the adoption of jus soli. We need to understand how this seemingly simple idea became enshrined as a fundamental part of the United States Constitution. The story of birthright citizenship is not just a legal matter, it's a narrative that reflects the evolving understanding of American identity and belonging. It's a story that is absolutely central to defining who is considered an American, and equally important, who has the potential to become one. So, let's embark on this journey together and explore how this single, powerful sentence in the Constitution has profoundly shaped and transformed the nation we know today. To truly understand the significance of birthright citizenship in the United States, we need to delve into the historical context that shaped its very foundation. It's not just a simple legal concept, it's a principle deeply intertwined with the nation's struggles and aspirations. Our journey begins in the tumultuous 1860s, a period of immense upheaval and transformation in American history. This was a time when the very fabric of the nation was being tested, as the Civil War raged and the future of the country hung in the balance. We find ourselves, just after the Civil War, a conflict that had left the nation scarred and divided. The war's end brought not only peace but also a profound reckoning with the issue of slavery and the rights of those who had been enslaved. The nation faced a monumental question, one that would define its future. What rights, if any, would be granted to the nearly 4 million formerly enslaved people who now found themselves free? What would their place be in this newly reconstructed nation? This was a question that demanded an answer that would shape the course of American history. The answer, a beacon of hope and progress, came with the ratification of the 14th Amendment in 1868. This landmark amendment was a direct response to the injustices of slavery and a bold step towards ensuring equality for all. At the heart of the 14th Amendment lies its Citizenship Clause, a powerful declaration that would forever alter the landscape of American citizenship. The Citizenship Clause declared in no uncertain terms, "All persons born or naturalized in the United States and subject to the jurisdiction thereof are citizens." These words enshrined the principle of birthright citizenship into the very fabric of the Constitution. This groundbreaking clause effectively overturned the infamous Dred Scott decision, a ruling that had cast a dark shadow over American jurisprudence. the Dred Scott decision had shamefully denied citizenship to African Americans, perpetuating the injustice of slavery and denying basic rights to an entire group of people. The 14th Amendment sought to right this wrong and ensure that all Americans, regardless of race, were entitled to the full rights and privileges of citizenship. By explicitly tying citizenship to birth on U.S. soil, the framers of the 14th Amendment made a conscious decision to break away from the traditional European model of citizenship. The framers broke from Europe's long-standing tradition of bloodline-based citizenship, where citizenship was determined by ancestry rather than place of birth. This was a deliberate choice, reflecting a commitment to a more inclusive and egalitarian vision of American society. The ultimate goal was equality, a society where all individuals were treated with dignity and respect, regardless of their background or origin. The principle was simple, yet profound. If you're born here, you belong here. Birthright citizenship was intended to ensure that all individuals born on American soil would be recognized as full and equal members of society. The phrase, "subject to the jurisdiction thereof," was carefully included to clarify the scope of the citizenship clause. It was meant to exclude only the children of foreign diplomats who are not subject to U.S. laws, and members of sovereign Native American tribes who have their own distinct legal systems. Today, in the midst of ongoing debates about immigration, some argue that the citizenship clause should be interpreted to exclude children of undocumented immigrants. However, over a century of legal precedent, rooted in the text and history of the 14th Amendment, firmly disagrees with this narrow interpretation. That precedent was definitively set in a landmark Supreme Court case, a case that continues to shape our understanding of birthright citizenship to this day. The 14th Amendment, ratified in 1868, promised equal protection under the law and defined citizenship. But the true scope and meaning of these guarantees were not immediately clear. Its meaning was rigorously tested in the landmark 1898 Supreme Court case of Wong Kim Ark, a case that would profoundly shape the understanding of birthright citizenship in the United States. Wong Kim Ark's story began in San Francisco, California, a bustling port city teeming with immigrants from all corners of the globe. He was born to Chinese parents, hard-working immigrants who, at the time, were barred from becoming naturalized citizens due to the discriminatory Chinese Exclusion Act of 1882. This act specifically prohibited Chinese laborers from entering the country and denied citizenship to those already residing here. After a visit to China, Wong Kim Ark attempted to return to the United States, his country of birth, but he was unexpectedly denied re-entry by immigration officials. The U.S. government argued that despite being born on American soil, Wong Kim Ark was not a citizen because his parents were not eligible for citizenship themselves. They claimed his allegiance was to China, not the United States. The central question of the case challenged the very core of the 14th Amendment. Did the phrase, "subject to the jurisdiction thereof," exclude children born to immigrants who were themselves ineligible for citizenship? Ultimately, the Supreme Court sided with Wong Kim Ark in a landmark 6-2 decision. The court affirmed the principle of birthright citizenship, ruling that anyone born on U.S. soil, with the exception of children of foreign diplomats, is indeed a citizen of the United States, regardless of their parents' immigration status. In reaching its decision, the court heavily relied on centuries of English common law and found that the principle of jus soli, the right of the soil, was a fundamental and deeply ingrained aspect of American legal tradition. Wong Kim Ark's hard-won victory established a clear and enduring legal rule that birthplace, not parentage or ethnicity, is the primary determinant of citizenship in the United States. This landmark decision has stood as a cornerstone of American citizenship law for over 125 years, profoundly shaping the composition and character of America's diverse and multicultural society. While the legal precedent set by Wong Kim Ark is clear and well established, the political and social debate surrounding birthright citizenship is far from over and continues to be a contentious issue in contemporary America. Today, despite the long-standing legal precedent, some politicians and commentators continue to advocate for changing or even abolishing birthright citizenship, raising fundamental questions about who belongs in America. Today, birthright citizenship is under fire. Critics argue it encourages illegal immigration and that the 14th Amendment wasn't meant to cover children of undocumented immigrants. They use terms like anchor babies, claiming citizenship is used to secure legal status for families. Some propose a constitutional amendment or new laws to redefine subject to the jurisdiction thereof. Others suggest executive action, though most legal experts say that's unconstitutional. The goal: move the U.S. toward a right of blood system, not right of soil. This debate raises big questions. Is citizenship a privilege to be earned or a right by birth? Supporters of change see it as a matter of sovereignty and border control, but what would ending birthright citizenship actually mean for America? Defenders of birthright citizenship see it as a pillar of American democracy. They argue it prevents a permanent underclass, people born and raised here but denied citizenship. The 14th Amendment's language and the Wong Kim Ark precedent are clear: if you're born here, you're a citizen. Changing the rule would create bureaucratic chaos, forcing every parent to prove their status at birth. Economically, immigrants and their children contribute significantly to the U.S. The anchor baby narrative is misleading. Citizen children can't sponsor parents until age 21, and even then, it's a long process. Birthright citizenship fosters social cohesion and loyalty, integrating children into the only country they know. Removing it would betray the promise of equality and a fresh start for all. The debate is about more than law. It's about the nation's character. The U.S. isn't alone in granting birthright citizenship, but it's now in a shrinking group. About 30 countries, mostly in the Americas, offer unconditional jus soli. Most of Europe, Asia, and Africa use jus sanguinis citizenship by parentage, not birthplace. Some countries like the UK and Australia have moved to hybrid systems. A child gets citizenship only if a parent is a citizen or legal resident. Germany, once strictly jus sanguinis, now allows citizenship at birth if a parent has lived there legally for years. These changes reflect concerns about immigration and national identity. There's no single right way. Each country's approach reflects its history and values. If the US changed its system, it could follow these models, each with different consequences. The global trend is away from unconditional jus soli, but America's choice is unique. What would happen if the US followed suit? Ending birthright citizenship would create a new class of non-citizen children born in the U.S. These kids would grow up American in every way, except legally. Hospitals would have to verify parents' status at every birth, creating bureaucracy and confusion. Many children would be stateless or citizens of countries they've never known. They'd face barriers to education, jobs, and basic rights, living in legal limbo. The result: a divided society with some children denied opportunities simply because of their parents' status. Economically, a vulnerable underclass could be exploited, driving down wages and limiting potential. The simple rule of birthright citizenship would be replaced by complexity and inequality. The American experience would fundamentally change for millions. The impact would be deeply personal for families and children. Children born here to undocumented parents would grow up American but legally foreign. They'd face barriers to basic milestones, like getting a driver's license or college aid. Mixed status families would become even more common, with both parents and children lacking citizenship. The threat of deportation would hang over entire families, causing fear and instability. Children would struggle with identity, feeling like outsiders in their own country. Schools and communities would face new challenges, with students living side by side but in separate legal realities. The sense of shared community could erode, replaced by division and uncertainty. The debate isn't just about law, it's about the future we want for all children born here. We've traced birthright citizenship from the Civil War to today's debates. The 14th Amendment was a promise of equality, shaping America for over 150 years. Now it's at the center of a fierce debate. Is it a loophole or a pillar of democracy? Critics see it as a magnet for illegal immigration. Defenders see it as essential for integration and equality. Ending it could create a permanent underclass and bureaucratic chaos. The real question: what does it mean to be an American? Is citizenship about birthplace, bloodline, or shared values? As we look to the future, we must decide. Will America be defined by the soil or by blood? The answer will shape the nation for generations to come.